Ma'am, your appointment is ready, she told the woman who is sitting in the couch and busy in her phone. Yeah, thank you. She smiled at her while going inside. In return, the nurse also smiled. After going inside, her happy expressions became sour after realizing the doctor is a male, that too a young one. Wait, what? The doctor is a he? Ash in Russian. I didn't even check the name of the doctor. Lisa, I'll kill her. She's the one who recommended this hospital. What's your problem, miss? Came a deep, manly voice. I need an abortion medicine. She blurted out without thinking twice, making him to raise an eyebrow. And his expressions are not so clear as he's having a surgical mask on his face. How many weeks till now? He asked while adjusting his spectacles. No need to be so precise, just prescribe some medicine. Well, miss, I can't prescribe any medicine without actually knowing the case. So tell me, if you don't have any idea, I can actually run a few tests and can prescribe the medicine. Sir, it's just that because of some personal issues, I need them. And I went to pharmacy for that, but they told that they can't provide the drug without the prescription of the licensed physician. So here I am. I just need prescription. No need the details, please. Miss, I do have some ethics on my profession. So without knowing the details, I can't prescribe any medication which you decide. So sorry. It is nothing, you may leave, please. He said while removing the mask off his face. For a moment of silence, she awestruck by his beauty and freezed for a second, but she blinked twice and focused on the present situation. Not now, you know, or the point of view. I can feel you, girl. So the situation is that my family is trying to knot me in an arranged marriage with some old hack. But by showing the medicine to him, I can create some misunderstandings. I can understand your problem, but this is not the right to do. You can go in another way, by another means, but not this one. He indirectly told, your business is not my business, so get lost. A few days later, Luna, come, they arrived, her mother shouted from the downstairs. I'm still bathing, Mom. She lied rolling on the bed with an annoyed face. After the guests came, the families are busy in chatting and gossiping, while the female lead is busy in setting up the trap while having all ears on them. If I kept these bills on the table, can he notice? No. I should keep it where he can clearly notice it, even from the entrance. Maybe near the bedroom door. No, he will trip, I think. Yes, I got it. The bed. It has white colors. I should quickly change them to black. Then it's will clearly visible and can steal his attention. I think this girl is still busy in getting dolled up for you. She chuckled nervously while looking at the yes. Yuna in the bedroom, dolled up my foot. She scoffed after eavesdropping her mother coming from her bathroom. Wait, even though I made this, will he go along with my storyline and reject me? What if he doesn't believe me? Then I have to think up other plans. First, I should stick to this. I think you can go to her room. Anna patiently waited for the reply, but heard no response from the other side. But soon realized that he already came, so it panically went to hide. She quickly went to bathroom and dropped a few drops of water in her eyes and tapped her eyes, making them red, and made herself as if she's crying. By the time she came outside, the man is already examining the pills with his back facing towards her. So Yuna internally smirked and proceeded with her plan. I'm so sorry I have to find out like this, but no one can hide the truth, right? She purposefully stuttered and sniffed her nose as if she's really feeling guilty while squeezing the stress ball which is in her hands. Why is he not reacting for my Oscar level performance? Seriously, bro, can't even react to me. Based on judging him from his back, he's not that old. Wait, will I read it if his hands are no. There is no going back. I'm pregnant. She couldn't complete a sentence as the man turned towards her, making her perplexed because of the familiar and beautiful face of the man. Even the stress ball also rolled out of her hand, stealing attention from the handsome man who was standing in front of her. But when she regained her senses from the startleness, he is no more present there. Instead of worrying, she quickly got ready to go downstairs. By the time she reached downstairs, he's already gone. Seeing him already left in the middle made her patiently wait for the reaction with a long face. But his parents quickly clarified that he has something emergency came up, so he left after noticing her. And also from our side, it's a positive response to the marriage, as Taehyung agreed for it. So his name is Taehyung. Oh, wait, positive response? He agreed for the marriage? Mrs. Lee looked at Yuna for a response, but she, who is busy in thought process, didn't notice her. So Mr. Lee called out, Yuna. In a trance only, she responded to her father and looked at him with a questionable expression. Understanding she didn't listen anything, so he asked, what do you think of this marriage? See dear, I want a honest answer because I don't want to force you in this because it's your life. You can still have a love marriage if you want. Yuna looked at Taeyang's parents and asked, Mrs. Kim, is it really okay for Taeyang? She asked nervously. Seeing her hesitation, Mrs. Kim smiled and said, yes, if you're that much hesitant about it, why don't you call him and ask? I'll give you his number. Nodded. Seeing her hesitation, Mr. Kim said, see, child, I can understand your hesitation because just 2 days ago you got to know this, and today you saw him, but he left. So you can take some time and get to know each other. Then you can answer. Ryan collapsed on her bed like a deflated balloon, thinking all those embarrassing moments which she told in front of him. Ah, the universe hates me, she groaned. Meanwhile, her best friend called, who Yuna hates at the moment because she's the one who suggested his name as good doctor. Where Lisa, how is at the airport, just returned from the London, got startled at her outburst and spoke worriedly. What happened? Lisa quickly hailed a cab and headed to Yuna's house as Yuna hung up on her without saying anything. What happened? She shouted hysterically while coming to her. I knew that betray me in some small tiny way, but this is monumental. She dramatically flopped onto the floor, legs flailing. I can't even face him now. Betray? Monumental? Him who? She asked, bewildered, so many questions in confusion. Seeing her confusion, frustratingly explained everything in one go. Wait, what? Her words are calm, but her face is betraying the laughter which she's trying to hide. She's trying so hard to hide. Seriously, you think this is funny? No, 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 no. I just. Lord, what I have to do right now? She face pumped herself. Just then, the pills which are laying on the bed caught Lisa's attention. She picked it up and asked, in confusion, "Why does dog pills doing in your room? You don't even have a pet." What do you mean? She looked at Lisa in confusion. Yeah, these are wet medicine which is used on the dogs to suppress their heat, she explained. Dogs? She shouted in horror and got up. She flopped onto the bed dramatically. So all this time I was plotting a fake pregnancy with dog pills. No, Lisa didn't control her outburst. She shook her head, laughing hysterically. Yes, congratulations, you're officially the first person in history to accidentally self prescribe veterinary medicine. By the way, where did you find them? As he didn't give the prescription, so I googled it and asked the pharmacist. So that's why they didn't ask the prescription. Now it's already late when realization dawned upon her. You should have confirmed with me, still dying in laughter, she said. The funny truth is, my best friend is a doctor, and yet I googled them and ended up in this pathetic situation. See, I didn't betray, but at least he didn't prescribe you anything. You literally just did this all by yourself. That's impressive in a very wrong way. Impressive in a wrong way? That's the nicest thing anyone said about me in the last 24 hours. She muttered while Lisa smirked. Look on the bright side. Someday you'll tell the story at your wedding and he'll probably laugh or faint. Either way, entertainment is guaranteed. Ryan groaned again. Why did Google betray me? Why did you suggest him? And why do I feel like the universe is personally laughing at me right now? Lisa shrugged and said, because my friend, comedy loves tragedy, and yeah, apparently it's its purest style. Ryan was the kind of girl people often described as sensible for her age. Born into a middle class family, she had grown up seeing her parents balance everything with only limited money, and yet they are now in a good status because of family's hard work. By 25, she had finished her studies, started working as a professor in prestigious university in Korea, and carried herself with quiet confidence. She wasn't dreamy or rebellious. She was practical, someone who knew how to value both opportunities and limitations. But lately, the word marriage has begun circling the house like an uninvited guest. It wasn't said with pressure, but with gentle reminders from her parents as she was busy in life. Ryan respected them deeply. She knew her parents weren't thinking of controlling her future. They were thinking of security, of companionship for her, of a man who could share life struggles. She could understand this came from love, but inside her thoughts were far more complicated. She sat by the window staring at the street lights and asked herself, do I really want an arranged marriage or do I want something more than this? Something chosen, something that feels like mine. Her maturity told her that love marriages weren't perfect fairy tales and arranged marriages weren't prisons. She had seen both work and both fail, but she also knew herself. She wanted respect, understanding, and space to grow. Her father told that groom is an old hag while chuckling. Before she even noticed the teasing of his words, fear crept inside her, thinking she can't adjust with a different generation man. Sometimes she envied her friends who boldly said no to arrangements, but Ryan wasn't reckless. She thought of her parents' sacrifices, their health, the way they had sheltered her. Could she really defy them outright? No. So that's why she had taken a childish decision and got embarrassed. She didn't just survive it, she died from it. Even meeting Taehyung for next time also felt like as if a visit to hell. Thinking all of that, she doesn't know what's the right thing to do. She huffed a sigh and returned to her room, thinking about tomorrow's schedule for the day, and went to bed early as she was already stressed for today. As usual, the day has been busy with the classes and all that university stuff. When she sighed in relief, the working hours had already been completed. It's mid September in South Korea, the air carrying the gentle shift between summer's warmth and autumn's crispiness. The university campus is alive but calmer than the early semester rush. Ryan steps out from the white glass doors of the university building, her sneakers brushing against the stone pavement, still warm from the afternoon sun. She adjusts the strap of a canvas tote bag slung over her shoulders, the faint weight of textbooks reminding her of day's lectures. The trees lining the campus entrance are just beginning to change. Most leaves still green, but with the hints of yellow and orange peeking through, promising autumn's arrival. Around her, students chatter in groups, some hurrying towards the somewhere, others lingering with the highest Americanos in hand from a nearby cafe. The sky above is soft blue with long streaks of thin clouds, and a cool breeze carries the scent of the roasted sweet potatoes from the street vendor by the gate. She strokes a strand of hair behind her ear as it flutters in the wind, her gaze lifting briefly to the row of mountains visible in the distance beyond the city's skyline. There's a sense of quiet satisfaction in her steps, not rushed, not heavy, just a steady rhythm of someone caught between the day's end and the calm of an early autumn evening. She prepared for the short walk to the bus stop as she didn't bring a car, but then she froze. Her figure stood waiting, a tall young man in his casual clothes, a black sweatshirt and trousers. His posture relaxed but his gaze fixed on her. For a moment she blinked, unsure if her eyes were playing tricks on her. Then he wasn't supposed to be here. Her heart skipped, then quickened. The crowd of students suddenly felt like background noise, muffled and blurred. She stopped mid-step, her lips parting in disbelief, clutching the strap of her bag tighter. He smiled faintly, almost knowingly, as if he had been waiting for this exact reaction. She could feel a pulse in her ears, a swirl of confusion, curiosity, and the faintest flush of embarrassment rising to her cheeks. The world seemed to hold still around her, the September breeze passing, the leaves swaying slow. As she stood there, caught between the ordinary rhythm of a date and the unexpected turn her life had just taken. Her steps faltered as she approached the gate, every inch of her body aware of him. She hadn't expected him. Her palms grew clammy and she suddenly felt too conscious of the way her hair was little messy from the wind, of how she was still in a plain lecture day outfit. Tugging at her sleeve, she lowered her eye for a second, hoping he wouldn't notice the nervous flush creeping up off her cheeks. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a young man, a student from one of her afternoon classes, approached her hesitantly. His hands were slightly trembling, and he avoided her gaze at first, glancing instead at the ground, as if it were much more trustworthy than the air around them. Miss Lee, I just wanted to say that I like you. I know it's inappropriate to have forbidden feelings towards a professor, but I just can't hide that I like you. Her eyes wide in her hand, her lips caught between disbelief and discomfort. She opened her mouth, searching for the words to assert boundaries, to make it clear that nothing could come of this. Listen, she said carefully, her tone firm but controlled. I appreciate your honesty, but this isn't appropriate. I'm your professor and I can't. Her words barely left her lips before she froze mid-step. Behind her, a man who she hadn't even noticed until now that he's standing beside her. The striking and unmistakable figure of Taehyung standing beside her, claiming her as if she is. The student mumbled something like an apology or an excuse and shuffled back, leaving a heavy silence between her and them. She could feel a pulse in her throat, her professional composure fraying under the weight of the moment. Finally, she dared to meet his eyes. The breeze tugged at her hair and she shifted uncomfortably, suddenly aware of the awkwardness of standing there alone with him, the late September sky stretching wide above them. You came here? She stammered, clutching the strap of her bag tighter as if it might anchor her. He stood there quietly, arms relaxed but eyes sharp, watching her. There was no outward anger, no dramatic confrontation, only a subtle tension that seemed to hum in the air between them. Yet beneath that calm exterior, there felt a storm of emotions, worry, possessiveness, and a deep, unspoken feeling. And yet his eyes gave away every emotion from his heart. Yes, let's get you home. His tone came a bit of cold, but his eyes softened, sensing a nervous arrows around him. He didn't elaborate his answer, and yet his words weighed heavy to her. But why? The question is haunting her. Because even after knowing unforgettable, lame rejection, he agreed to marry her, and even the efforts, why?